Hey everyone, and welcome to our weekly Unreal Engine Twitch live stream. I'm your host, Chance Ivy, Community Manager here at Epic Games on Unreal Engine. I'm here with Senior Designer Jim Brown.
Hey everyone.
We're going to be going over the platformer game template and a few other things, but first we got a couple of announcements for you. Shelly, can you hop over the screen real quick? So you probably saw yesterday that the Zen Garden demo that we showed off at WWDC this summer, highlighting the new Metal API, it's now on the App Store, so if you have an A7 or A8 device, you can go ahead and pull it down. I think we've got more info up on our official blog, unrealengine.com. And so, just a quick video. Here's Tim and Josh on stage at WWDC. Let's hop to some of the pretties. So there's some really impressive stats on this, too. I think they're listed out on the blog as well, like thousands of draw calls, lots of really great stuff.
They did some just really incredible stuff where you're putting together the particles and the systems to make this work. So all this is interactive, too, which is just, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, go get that today. It's available. I've got it. I've been poking around with it the last 2 days. It's wonderful. So, all right. And we've got, also yesterday, new Marketplace content came out, including platformer game that we're talking about today. But also with that, we've got some other stuff from the community. And let's see, got character pack from 80 Entertainment. It's basically, I believe it's 4 characters in here that are completely animated. Weapons as well. A rock pack, which has been asked for many times. It's available now. You can go pick it up.
Here's a bag of rocks. Enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the videos and demo screens here just got staging different areas and lit, so that'll be really useful. And some audio. Let's see, we've got sound effects and a couple of music packs. All right. So with that, let's see. Shelly, you can come back over to us, I guess. We've got some events coming up too. Next week, most of the team will be over at EGX in London, doing all kinds of fun stuff there. We've got a booth with 8 games showing off that we talked about last week. And we're putting together a little meetup on Wednesday night. It'll just be kind of a casual mixer for developers to come hang out at. I'll have an Eventbrite and an official forum post and blog post for that, hopefully in the next couple days. So watch out for that. And on top of that, we've got the East Coast Dev Tour coming. So it's kind of on the heels of MIGS. We're going to be at MIGS as well.
Yeah, we've got a couple people that are doing talks at MIGS, and then also we're going to have devs there to hang out and meet people and show off, do demos, things like that.
Yeah. So after MIGS, we've got a meetup on the 12th. I believe that's a Wednesday. So it's Monday, Tuesday.
I think so. I'm not sure.
So what we're doing with with the East Coast Dev Tour is very similar to what we did with the West, where we've got a few days locked out, different tracks, different speakers, doing all kinds of, great training for everybody that's in attendance. This time we're actually announcing it a lot further ahead, so we can gather some feedback from you guys on what y'all want to see at the events, whether it's like blueprints or materials, those kind of different talks, and we're going to kind of cater the trainings around what people that RSVP send in what they want to do. So same again, we'll have Eventbrite, RSVP stuff, announcements, all that kind of stuff coming to the blog and the forums within the next few days. All right, so let's see. Oh yes, also tonight we are branching 4.5. So I know it's been 4 weeks since we talked about it before. We're still a few weeks out, but we're aiming, I believe, mid-October to get a release out to everybody. Lots of great stuff there, as you've seen, like Paper 2D updates, UMG updates, Hot Reload, which I'm excited about myself. So it's a little longer of a cycle because we just have so much stuff going in. So watch out for it. We'll probably be talking a little bit more about it in the next coming weeks. So with that, let's get over to the community spotlight. Shelly, back over to the monitors. Thank you. The first guy we've got here. Are we good up there? Or are we still kind of... Okay, we're going to take a short break. We got some technical difficulties.
As we're walking out, Chance realizes he doesn't have his clothes on.
Yeah, it's just the craziest thing.
Oh, wait, are we back live? Sorry.
Oh, good. Awesome. All right, so it looks like we're good now. Sorry about that, guys. Let's hop over and do the community spotlight real quick. All right, so this week we've got 3, and this is a Tale of 3 by Game DNA, and it's an action-adventure game made in UE4. They've also got an Indiegogo campaign, and they're on Steam Greenlight. So quickly here at the beginning, we've got some just scenes and a dancing woman, which is awesome. So it's built by 2 people, which is nice.
Really?
Yeah, sorry for lack of audio. We're still being sensitive to the new, Twitch restrictions. Don't want to ban ourselves.
This looks really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they got some gameplay up here too in about 20. Like, hop up a little bit. Just got a little goblin dude. For me.
Just for you.
Bam. So it looks cool. Yeah, this is a
combat roll.
Yeah, as the watermark says, it's still in pre-alpha, but we'll be keeping an eye on it and seeing what comes of it. Looks really neat. All right. Let's move on to the next guy here. This one is Space Dust Racing by Space Dust Studios. It's a racing game built in Unreal 4. Very Mario Kart or even Crash Team Racing was it reminded me of when I first saw it.
Oh, this looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks great. So they just posted on our forum saying that they're ID at Xbox indie developer now, so we may be seeing this coming to the Xbox One. I can't speak for them on that, but this is really awesome. Like, really cool. And I was talking to Dana earlier about it, and she mentioned that she had seen something about these guys doing something with VR as well, which would just be really crazy. Yeah,
that would be totally awesome.
Can you imagine like Mario Kart style racing with VR?
Yeah. You could look over and give someone the Luigi look.
Yeah.
the stare.
Yeah, do the actual head tracking to follow the. Yeah. That would be amazing. So this is cool. Look out for more cool stuff from these guys. We got a nice thread on the forums about this too, so I'll link that in the recap later. And this is more architectural visualization goodness. It's like every week we get something incredible that somebody's doing. I mean, that blanket looks so soft. It's the first thing that's ever opened this. It's like, I want that blanket. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? It's like, that blanket, come see this blanket.
That is pretty
It's just
nice.
really, really great stuff. So, as always, love people using the engine for things other than games. It's really shows some of the power that there's different things it can be used for, right?
Wow, that's sweet.
It's so soft,
Yeah.
I think I have one of those bun things. The person is contemplating things, staring out the window. Yeah, this is by XOIO. So, really nice stuff. Really, really good.
Nice depth of field, nice lighting.
Yeah. Yeah, people are really using DOF really well on these ArcViz videos. Cool. All right. So now you wanted to talk about Boston Fig?
Yeah.
So
we've been doing a lot of tours recently. We were at PAX. We were at PAX East. We got all the tours that we were just talking about. We've been doing engine training. We've been all over the place. And just this past weekend, myself, Zach, and Paul went up to Boston for Festival of Independent Games and to meet with some licensees and to talk to the folks at MIT about ways they might be using our engine as well. And it was really kind of cool to see how quickly the MIT folks jumped on to. They're very excited about it, switching over to UE4. They use it. They have a game dev track, a few elective classes that you can take and learn game development. But they have people there who are doing research on projects that you wouldn't normally assume or wouldn't normally associate with gaming,
right?
But or wouldn't normally associate with MIT, but which tie very well to UE4 integration and even some of our game stuff. Like they have people looking at server distribution loads across like MMOs.
Yeah,
They have people looking at effective ways to improve casting techniques and integrate live streaming into gameplay. I mean, just all this kind of crazy stuff. So it was very cool to talk to them. And we're going to go back and do some training classes at MIT with the students there eventually. And I think that's actually coming in November as well. And
busy month.
yeah, so that'll just be a great opportunity, and a lot of those will probably work their way on to YouTube as well through. They have like MIT Tech TV.
I've watched a couple of those just on some specific things.
And then we went to Festival of Independent Games. I can speak. And I did a talk there on Unreal Tournament and community development and kind of how we're developing that game and its kind of new model and why we chose that and how it's been going. And so that was really cool. The room was a little empty, and then as I started to talk, like more and more people came filling in. To by the end, it was pretty full, and that was a good feeling. And there were some very excited people afterwards.
Cool.
And then Zach did a demo of Paper 2D.
Zach doing a demo?
Yeah, Zach doing a demo, right? And he went in and basically built a Paper 2D game from scratch right there in front of the audience. And it was like stunned silence watching him create that thing. And it was packed, wall-to-wall, standing room only.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was great. It was a great show. So we had a good time there. Met a lot of really good independent developers, people who didn't know about our business model, didn't know about our tools, didn't know that we were out there and available. So that was really good to meet them and get a sense for what people are doing and what tools they need, which helps give us direction too.
Absolutely.
On areas that we can improve or things that we can add, or just a general roadmap for the engine. So.
Yeah, it's like so many things that we've built into the engine have been directly from somebody saying, "Hey, I need this."
Yes.
It's like, okay, great. Well,
yes.
there it is.
and it's really cool to see because that's not just pie in the sky. These are actual people, just small teams sometimes of one or two people, but who are using our engine or other engines, honestly, to actually make something. And it's like actual real use cases. So it's cool to see that stuff.
Yeah,
fantastic. Come to be. See ideas come to life.
Yeah, awesome. You ready to hop in a platformer?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it.
So this one is slightly different than some of our other. Oops, you have to move the whole thing a little bit easier.
Oh, what have I done?
Just drag the whole thing. You want me to do it?
Yeah. Oh, I see.
There you go. So, as you have all seen, we release sample games with our engine, and this one is actually a little bit different. This one was started in development by the team at Epic Poland. So they did a really great job of putting together this demo game. Out here, I'll just load it up and let it run while I'm talking. And it's a nice demo because it incorporates a little bit of everything. We started with just kind of the side-scrolling template and built out from there. They did a little quick cinematic. They've done full.
What is
3D.
the cinematic built in?
It's all done here.
Yeah, like it's like a. It's
actually it's like a little matinee, but it's. I can show you when we pull back. It's like little cards that are in the world, and then the camera's just looking at them, and they flip by.
Yeah,
it's not even
awesome.
actually doing any real graphics or anything, but it was an interesting way to look at that. So this little robot comes out, and a lot of people think that it's kind of an infinite runner sort of thing, but it's actually almost like a better explanation would be a time trial. So as to see how fast you can get through the obstacles and improve your time. And there's like a little scoreboard that keeps track of the end and whatnot. Nice. It's pretty short, so I'll just run through while everyone's here. And I've already messed it up, but you can get these little time bonuses.
Camera work's a lot of fun. It sucks out, moves back in.
Little trick moves and whatnot. And you hit the green cars and they boost you up. So, as I said, this was started by the guys in Poland, and at one of the shows that we were at, I pulled this up just so people could see it. because it was just kind of a cool demo for us to show off, because it had that kind of opening cinematic, and when you go full screen, it has this kind of full game feel where people actually felt like, oh, this is the actual game that you could build using the engine, right? And see kind of how that all comes together. And then as we're there on the demo floor, they're like, oh, what if we change this? What if we move this? And so we started actually moving around and adding to the map right there in real time on the show floor.
Yeah.
And by the end of the show, 3 days later, we had made a series of bug fixes. We had added all these particle effects in. We had rearranged and remeshed certain areas to make them a little bit different, more visually appealing. We had changed the scripting behavior in some of the
You could almost build an entire new level, like a whole map, right?
Yeah, so I mean, the core of what the Epic guys did was there, and we actually went in with the community and polished it and built it. It was really cool. It was fun to do. It was fun to see. And then when I came back, all the engine guys were like, "Oh my gosh, no! We're going to release this thing!" But it was really cool because we actually had the opportunity to roll all those changes back in, and they made them into the actual game itself. So anyway, it was a cool, it was a fun experience, and so we've done it a couple times. So here's the here's all the just little pieces from that cinematic, and it's just the pieces kind of come together, and the camera looks at them, and they move across and do funny things, but. So it's not an actual
it's all
movie.
all
it's
quads.
It's all just done with little cards and
that's great.
In-game animations and stuff. So anyway, it was fun. It was a good experience. It was fun to play. It's fun to do, and it's a really good example of how to build stuff. Some of this was actually built a little strangely. Like all the trees are one mesh, which is not something we would typically do on PC, but those are the kind of shortcuts that we take when you're doing HTML or mobile or things like that to reduce your draw call. So
right.
In some ways, this is actually a really good demo for multiple things and show you how to do a lot of different things at once. So.
Gotcha. I wonder what that player controller looks like. Like, is he just an animation that you're telling to move a direction, like move to?
Yeah. There's the little robot guy. I can't remember what he's called now, but we actually changed some of his animations too. We gave him, we added like the little arm scrape when you dodge. He dodges and he drags his arm behind him and it throws out sparks and stuff.
Nice.
And that took a little bit of work, but Zach and somebody in the show floor and Lauren also helped. So we just kind of threw that together while we were there. It was good fun.
Well, that's awesome. You mind pulling up like the blueprint for the? Sorry, is it done in blueprints or? If you
yeah. So this is pretty much everything was done in Blueprint.
I asked because I haven't had a chance to pull it down today since it came out last night.
I mean, the individual pieces, like these guys are all little blueprints. Just off screen. Mm-hmm. There we are. Yeah, so the individual components for a lot of the pieces were blueprints themselves.
Okay. So is that front box kind of like a trigger, basically?
Yeah, that's a little box that says it's a marker for where the character climbs.
Okay.
So you'll hit that and climb.
Gotcha.
And then there's just some basic behavior that's in there.
Yeah.
When you hit it, what it does, and it's kind of sometimes it falls and sometimes it doesn't, things like that.
Right.
But the level itself is also. Where are you? There we are. So all of the logic of the game is in here as well, including the little high score table at the end where you can save your high scores, save your best times, try and beat your friends. The camera setup, the intro cinematic. You can. There's a spot in here. There's logic for skipping.
Okay. Was that the whole
here it is,
space
skip the
earlier, or
intro.
was that you knocking the?
Well, like that whole intro thing, we were going in and testing repeatedly, and so we just like didn't want to sit through that whole cinematic. So
got it.
So we put logic in there for skipping it, and it does like a tutorial the first time you go through, but then if you go back and you can play again, it skips the tutorial. So there's a lot of good logic in here for things like that. There's 2 different endings, 2 little cinematics that play depending on how well you did and how fast you go. So there's all kinds of logic in there.
Cool. Let's see real quickly.
I don't think there's anything in there, yeah. And then there's just basic level streaming stuff too. So, it loads the initial part of the game, and then as you progress through it, starts streaming in the pieces where your character currently is, and starts streaming out the stuff that you left behind. So.
Okay, so do we have multiple levels on this?
Yeah. That's all. So all the streaming logic is in there as well.
Wow. Now is that that's in its own separate blueprint, or?
It's all in the level blueprint.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just done through volumes.
Got it. Oh, okay.
Volumes and triggers.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right on. How many levels does this have with it already?
No, so it's not like multiple levels that you can run through.
It's just streaming the actual individual.
It's all
that
one level that just
streams
streams as you go through.
So you have it chunked into specific maps?
Yeah.
Got it.
And it was actually kind of funny because we had, hey, look, there's cinematic. Where was it? There was part that we added. Somebody was going through and they were just like, I can add buildings. And so they added all these buildings into the back. And we couldn't get them to show up, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. They kept just disappearing, and then we figured out they were in
another level.
They were in the wrong streaming map, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was one of the things that just it made that guy so happy on the show floor to see his work come to life. He's like, "Yay, we fixed a bug!" Yeah,
that's awesome. I've made that mistake with lighting. Put lighting in the wrong level. It's like, why is it not baking correctly?
Yeah. And it was funny because we were debugging stuff as well, so performance got better and it started looking better, and we had particles. It was just really cool to see it all come together so quickly. And it was just, somebody would roll up and spend 5 or 10 minutes looking at it and do something, get hands on with the tools, and then they'd go on with the rest of their day, and the person behind him would come up and take up right where they left off. And
that's awesome.
Sometimes you had to re-explain things over and over, but piece by piece, it just got better every time you did it.
So with these blueprints that you've got of the individual chunks, you can actually just easily kind of drop in new widgets essentially.
So for example, these guys are individual blueprints too. So,
yeah. Special green car.
We can find it in
the Exploder
content browser. So yeah, if we wanted a new exploding car, the blueprint was made. It's just a matter of dropping it in.
That's so great.
And then the last show, I don't think it did make it into the build, but the last show that we were at, we actually made the car explode at the end, which was kind of cool. I went into here and where was it? I don't think it made it in. I don't think any of that stuff got saved.
Variable rooftop.
Well, the car is made up of the car and then some pieces.
Yeah.
And so we made all of these. We gave them collision and made them physics objects and added a little thing in there so that when you hit the trigger, it set off a radial impulse, and so that it did the explosion, and all the pieces would go flying under your feet. And so yeah, that didn't make it into the final build, but it's just one of those other things that like I said, it was just somebody came up with the idea there on the show floor, and so we started messing with it.
Gotcha. Anyway, we can take a look at the anim tree for the character, the animation.
I am not an animator, so I couldn't even tell you how to get there, but I'm sure we can find it.
I just wanted to kind of see, what some of that looked like.
You know how to get there?
If you can, I think it's in the content browser. You should go down to the actual character himself. There's a folder for it. Yeah,
there
maybe in there. I just want to kind of see how it's set up. I know we get a lot of questions about it, so there's individual animations. Let's see. Jump on, jump off.
Well, we pull up the welcome to Persona. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the individual one. No, yeah, that's just going to be the rig itself. Okay. Yeah, it's probably another option altogether. So we've got a couple of questions over here. The UI itself, how do we go about building that?
That was done by the guys in Poland, and again, it's if I can make this a little smaller here.
We're actually using objects in the game, right?
Yeah. So they're just little text
Guys inside
boxes
these,
essentially that we're pulling up right there.
Yeah, those are just text interactors.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, there's a question about if it's UMG or not.
No, UMG hadn't come online when we first started building this. So
Yeah, because this has been in development.
Yeah, it's been in development for a
Back
while.
and forth
So
for a little bit. Cool. Let's see what else we got here. All right, guys, if y'all want to drop any more questions into the stream, we'll happily get to them. I've got another one too here. Judging by the assets, this is a PC game, correct? It's not a mobile necessarily, or
yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't really build this with any target in mind.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was some things done, like combining the trees, and I think some of these pieces up here are all meshed together. I mean, there we do things like that very often in mobile development for better performance and things like that. But this wasn't specifically created just for mobile or just for PC.
Probably not optimized. Had to
Yeah.
pare down quite a bit for some of those things. Cool. All right, let's see what else we got over here. I see Nolan's in the chat. The buildings in this, are they static meshes, and can they be migrated from this project into another one? I believe so.
Yes,
they are.
everything, all the assets in here can be used in anything you want, just like all of our other demos. That's all out there for you to do whatever you want with. And they're just static mesh boxes, essentially, with some textures on there.
This reminds me of Twisted System. The old, I can't remember what the Fusion Frenzy on Xbox.
Oh, okay,
There's
yeah.
the Halo 1 demo where you have to go up or down with other things to see how far you can go. That mixed with Kitten Cannon, which is
Slide.
gosh, that's so great. So the only two interactive pieces here are the car itself and the ledges.
Well,
the
there's
little time guys.
Yeah, the little time guys as well.
Time bonus. You do the
And
time
there
bonus the
are-
same thing with the card that just comes up and hunts the camera.
There's also, I don't know. Again, I don't know if it made it in or not. But at one point we had some of the fire hydrants, so that if you landed hard next to them, they would spring and start shooting water. I don't know if that made it into the final build or not.
Is this here?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
Let's see. We got what platforms? Let's see. What platforms benefit from combining meshes? Do you know from an optimization standpoint?
It depends on where you're bottlenecked. I mean, one of the reasons that they did it here was to reduce draw calls so they could add more meshes in, more details in, things like that. Typically, on a PC, that's not going to be as much of an issue. You can add more meshes.
Yeah.
But on a mobile.
And it's typically something you only want to do on static items. You can't really.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you're GPU bound or you're CPU bound or whatever you're looking at, hey, it finally hit it. There we go.
Oh yeah, we have actually talking about Zach with the Paper 2D blog, or Paper 2D talk that he did. We actually have a blog of that video series going up very
cool.
soon, so it might be up now.
Yeah, that was another example of just us being on the show floor and him starting to put something together.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool to watch it happen. I mean, he essentially just takes his mouse and starts drawing, and builds a little cell animation and does the whole thing. And he created a little level, and it was fun to watch. I mean, he did it basically in like an hour or two and put together almost a full game.
Cool. Let's see. combining meshes is something that needs to be done in an exterior tool, correct? Like that needs to be done in Max. Say you put all these guys out there, right?
Yeah, you can combine them, but they won't. It'll still be multiple.
Right.
Multiple.
You can group them.
Yes.
It's a separate thing for combining.
Yeah. Just like any outside asset that you'd create, it has to be created outside and then imported in.
Whenever you were hitting those, whenever you were going over those the ledges and they start moving up on their own, was that a trigger box in front? Then once you go through it, it tells them to go up. Got it. Okay, that's what I was seeing earlier.
Yeah, all those are just done. So, I believe this is the associated trigger over here.
The green one, or?
But if you go in here, you can see. So there's the box.
Got it. And
gets things going.
But they just added the box actor or the box component inside that component.
Yeah, that's it.
Gotcha. Instead of the trigger. Mm-hmm. See, a couple of you guys are saying that you've still got some frozen stream stuff. We should have all this archived afterwards, so we'll be able to get it out to you shortly. Oh, I got actually kind of a design workflow. Mm-hmm. What's your workflow processes in designing this level with some of these guys? Like, do you start out kind of with the props themselves, or would you go more about?
So this one, like I said, this one was a little bit different in that we actually started with the guys in Poland, and they actually did a lot of the heavy lifting and the bulk there. Typically speaking, there's a design workflow demo that's actually included in UE4, and you can see our process for how we typically put things together.
It's like the white and then little painted.
Yeah. Starting from just very, very basic shapes, and then kind of refining that for the gameplay purposes, and then slowly adding detail in over time. With this one in particular, the bulk of it was done, so to speak, by the time we went to the show floor. And we didn't have it done enough that it was bug-free or that it was ready for release or that it was performing well, things like that. But I pulled it up anyway because I thought that it would just show well on the floor. And as people walked up, it was more like, oh, what are you interested in? Are you a programmer? Are you an animator? Are you a designer? Are you an artist? And so each of them kind of took their own little bit of information or whatever it was that they were good at and picked it up that way. So, we had some people that were polishing the blueprint on the lift, for example. We had people who were like, oh, well, if you had this particle effect here and it'll obscure this other thing, anyway, it was nice to get multiple input from multiple people, but there was no real process on how we did it, because it was just random on who showed up on the show floor.
Yeah, on something like this, if I were to build this game, I'd probably do the same. You've kind of got your straight corridor where the player's going to move, and you might have them go up or down, but then just kind of figure out what places you want them to interact, right? And
if I go back to, if I remember how we did this, we basically, it's a straight shot in terms of running. And so we started with that and added some variation in jumps and things. And then somebody did the car. We had you jumping over cars, and then they did the car that would explode if you jumped on it. And then we figured out, we need to make those visually different, so we made them green. Yeah. And went through that whole process. And then the logic for the window washer lift things going up and down. But the core process of how we built it really didn't deviate much from that same process that we have in the content examples.
Yeah, cool. Slow motion effect. Is there a place in here where we've got some slowdown?
Yes.
Possibly at the beginning, or
I'm trying to remember where that was exactly. Oh, it's right when you do that first jump.
Oh yeah, right during that tutorial-ish part.
Which is just done with time dilation in the blueprint, if I recall correctly.
Jump or slide to start running.
Whee. Yeah. So
right here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I assume we're hitting a trigger there. And it's telling something to happen.
Let me see here.
Yeah. Looks like it at least.
guess. What are you doing? Open trigger box. Maybe you're not doing anything anymore.
Might be that one. Oh, you right-clicked off of it, I believe.
Oh, did I? Oh, come on. Be nice.
There you go.
Let's do it this way.
You're doing it in the level blueprint?
Yeah. Post process. This is setting up. There's the text render. That's where it's drawing the menus. Start the game.
Fade in.
Get player pawn. Delay. Show the player. Delay. Wow. Why are you being that way? Anyway, yes, you hit a trigger and it does a time dilation. I'm just having trouble getting to where exactly where it is on here because it's being that way. Level. Find a level blueprint.
Oh, it might be in a function.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the other screen. Anyway,
Yeah,
taking up streaming time here.
gotcha. And that affects the entire. Is that affecting like the time step essentially? Or,
Yeah, it
okay.
slows down everything.
So it's everything.
Yeah.
There's no way to really break that apart
Right.
into more than one thing. Got it. Okay, because I went more about that too. So sorry about the off screen there. We're digging around trying to find where that note is.
So I'm used to working on two screens, so I'm just
Yeah.
messing through things here.
Yeah, update save. High
This is
score.
this is the score.
All right. That's currently all we've got on questions. If anybody wants to have anything else, you go ahead and drop them in the chat, and we'll happily get to them.
I'm just scrolling through here. Not showing anything in particular.
After intro. It's maybe in the after intro section?
I'm just showing people this so they can see kind of how it was set up.
Mm. Select enter in the game. These are the fire hydrants, don't do anything anymore. somewhere. No results found.
Anyway. Yeah, at one point we had, let me see. Yeah, we didn't, oh, maybe there's one that's left in here. So it was the static mesh, particle effects, collision box.
And that pops whenever you hit it.
And if you hit it, you have to I believe you have to have a certain momentum.
Okay, so you're grabbing from the pawn and its velocity.
Grab the pawn,
Got it.
yeah, get the
so you're using the
velocity.
physics to do that.
You have to have a specific Z velocity
Okay, got it.
of negative 200, yeah.
So it's a ground pound.
Yeah. I think maybe at one point in development they were talking about doing a ground pound in.
An action.
Yeah. But that didn't fit with the timestamp thing, right? Like you would never want to do it because it would slow you down. So
There might be some interesting design feature with that, like a decision. Ground pound here, it'll slow you down, you lose half a second, or try to do something really difficult.
Yeah. So, anyway, at one point we messed with adding more of those in so that I tried to do it so that as you came down from like a long jump, it would do it and you would explode the fire hydrant, but some of that stuff didn't make it into the final build. Yeah, see, like there's a couple of them down here.
Oh, yeah. So the one that was already exploded, you didn't explode it was just set to be exploded.
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't even know if that still works. Let's find out. Let's try it.
Are you being timed on knocking that open too?
It's just a series of
No, but
as you.
does the timer start before? No,
No,
it doesn't.
it starts when you start moving.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's painful. Oh.
Oh, see, it didn't work.
Yeah. That one. That's what I was looking at earlier.
Yeah. So they aren't set up to work anymore. Boo-hoo. But it was something we messed with, and it would have been fun if we had actually included it.
Maybe for somebody from our community can,
Yeah.
hop in and show us
Always.
how awesome it is.
There's me failing yet again.
You said that is a card there, right? The time bomb thing.
Yeah.
It rolls up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything in here was done just straight up trickery.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool stuff.
So there we have it.
Yeah. Don't really have a whole lot more questions on it, too. So with that, let's see. Oh, could time dilation be used to slow down crashes for vehicles in order to have more detailed physics destructions?
It would be the same. It would just look slower.
Yeah. Yeah. So it really is just kind
So
of.
yes, you could see it better. But
Yeah, it would be like time stamping. It's really more of an effect on the actual rendering.
yeah. It's just how many frames get shown.
Got it. Cool. Wait around for a couple more questions if you guys have got them.
There are probably different or better ways that you could handle that, but it would have to be game side, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
To handle the slow-mo.
Yeah, it would almost be like an entire event that you trigger on that changes a bunch of other settings while you're there, and then it also says time dilation.
You would have to set it up specifically for your game, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you wanted it to affect like physics and things like that, or affect individual players as opposed to others, like a bullet time effect.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that we always struggled with in multiplayer, because when you slow time down for one person, you slow it down for everyone.
Right.
And so in something like this, it doesn't matter because you're single player, but multiplayer, it
Right,
affects a much larger.
Yeah, and so that would be like something that time dilation would be just a section of what your thing is, where you've got to do a whole bunch of other logic.
Yeah, so if you affected time dilation in an online server, it would affect everyone in the server,
Right.
not just the individual player. So that would have to be coded specifically for your project if you wanted it to handle that case.
Gotcha. Let's see what we got here. Can you show the ledge grab?
the ledge grab.
Yeah, just to kind of see how that works. So we've got a trigger on.
Oh, I had G on. Sorry.
Yeah,
So these are, for example, these are just boxes where it says, if I hit that area, grab.
So you're doing like a component overlap, and then grabbing the component and telling it to do something.
So that's handled in code, not in Blueprint.
Oh, so that got it.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that was set up early on by PCF. So that section is not in Blueprint, sadly. So
Yeah.
we have to have Visual Basic into.
Yeah,
see
for
it.
that one you have to pop into the
Just in terms
script
of-
on it.
In terms of in-game, you can move those around and do. This is why we added the cinematic skip. Actually, what I should do is
Add a break out of the thing skip. Nice, doing it up front.
So I just added one in front of that light post. And in theory, as we run across, he'll hit that and then
It's
climb up.
Got
over
it.
Yeah.
It's more obstacle than.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get my timings down. So, I missed.
Oh, almost got that one. Yeah. Oh, so you're using those in a lot of places to keep the player from getting just stuck.
Well, if you hit it, it'll climb up.
It'll auto climb over it. You don't
Yeah.
have to just keep jumping. Got it.
Yeah, so if you hit it just running at it, it'll stop you for a second, and then you can climb up over it. But if it's like a ledge, you can climb up on it. No, don't hit that. No.
I don't want to win. I'm trying to lose. Trying to display the loser. I got a question. Is there any C++? Because you said almost everything is blueprints. Yes, this ledge is one of those things. That
Yeah,
would be done in
like I
code.
said, this was started early on, and so it's kind of a combination of the two. There's some C++, there's some blueprint in there.
One more question on the helicopter grab itself at the end on the cinematics. Was there any way we can eject at that point and kind of see or take a look at the helicopter actor?
So that's that's a straight cinematic.
It's all cinematic?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not even actually the player kicker at that point. He gets
Yeah.
hidden and it swaps to this, and it's just an animated
During
sequence.
that quick pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. So all animated on that one. Let's see. All right. Well, cool. Don't really have a whole lot more questions, so if you want to go ahead and... Oh, nice. Was that it? Was it the cinematic?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
missed it. Sorry. Bunk. Nice. All right. It doesn't look like we have any more questions. So, thanks a lot, Jim, for coming and showing us
Yeah,
all this.
happy to
Thanks
stop
everybody
by.
for hanging out and everything. We didn't break the stream. We didn't burn down the building.
Almost.
Again.
We tried.
Awesome. Well, we'll be back next week. I won't be here. Neither Dana and I will be here. We'll both be at EGX, but we got some cool stuff on its way. So make sure to tune in Thursday at 2 o'clock. We'll have the archive up shortly after this and blog post recap following. So thanks again.
Bye, everyone.